What the heck? What is that thing under the skin under my eye? I have no clue what this thing is, but I am figuring it out. I just got back from a dermatologist, so don't you worry. But look at it. Look how like beautiful it is. It just sits there. It pretends it's a pimple, but it's not a pimple. You know the kind. Thank you so much for your concern. I will be evicting my little friend under my eye very, very soon. If you feel like diagnosing me through a screen, go for it. Okay, back to the video. And I am super freaking vegan. I am vegan for my health, for the animals, for the planet, for humankind, and yet I am married to a man who is not vegan. It's kind of my claim to fame. From time to time, I like to check in here with you guys because I know there's a lot of people out there who are vegan like me, but are married to people who are not vegan, like my husband Eric. Truthfully, the whole eating thing and meal time is the easiest part about being married to someone who's not vegan. Literally not even difficult at all. But sometimes it's nice to freshen up your little recipe index and get some ideas for meals. A while ago, I made a video called What We Eat for Dinner, non-vegan partner approved, about how to eat healthfully with your partner, keeping it vegan and keeping it super tasty so that your non-vegan partner's like, I don't even care. So today I'm coming at you with what we eat for lunch. Just a note, I am very aware that a lot of people eat lunch outside of the home, but we're super lucky because Eric works like 10 minutes away, so he comes home for lunch every day. These vegan lunches are so easy. You can obviously prepare them at home, or you could prepare them ahead of time and bring them to work, or you can make them for dinner, make enough for leftovers, and take them in containers to work so they can be enjoyed at the office or your workplace. I have 5 recipes in here, and I do modify some things. So while I do eat a vegan diet could mean literally anything that doesn't have animal products in it. I personally try to avoid gluten as much as I can unless I'm out in the world and I have pasta sometimes. It's no big deal. I avoid processed foods, I avoid processed sugar, and I don't cook with oil. So that means when I'm cooking food that is for both me and Eric, I try to make it really tasty in other ways, and that's kind of the concept of this series. You might be wondering what my opinion on soy is, because I do have some tofu in these recipes, and my answer is I sometimes eat soy, but most of the time I don't. I don't really have like a strong stance on soy. It's just a bean, but I am aware of the whole like GMO thing. I'll say one last thing here. If you're vegan and you're cooking for your loved one or partner, family member, a friend who's not vegan, and you just want to like impress them with vegan food while keeping it really healthy, just keep in mind their preferences. So my husband doesn't like certain things. He doesn't like pickles or like vinegary type stuff. He doesn't like mushrooms or broccoli, but he does like certain vegetables, so I just like focus on those vegetables and those types of foods that he wants to eat so that it's something he's interested in. Okay, enough ranting, let's get into the recipes. I have 5 super yummy recipes, and if I do say so myself, the last recipe is my favorite. The first recipe we are making is kind of a double whammy for you. We are going to make some hummus and use that as our filling for quesadillas and grilled cheese. The quesadilla is for Eric and the grilled cheese is for me. First, you're just going to rinse your garbanzo beans and then put them in a high-speed blender with your tahini and lemon and spices and garlic and all that, and make it as salty as you want. I do no salt actually, because there's plenty of salt in the other toppings if you want. And add just enough water, blend it until it's smooth. I really like making my own hummus for this recipe simply because I can get it nice and thick, and the thicker the hummus, the better it is and the easier it is to grill. If I'm in a pinch, I'll use a store-bought hummus and it works just fine, but I like it better and Eric likes it better with the homemade hummus. On the side, I'm going to have a salad because I do like to have greens at lunch as much as possible. So I'm just gonna wash the kale and massage it. I like to cut and massage the kale so it gets it nice and soft and tender and ready to eat. And I love just a really simple dressing on a side salad, like citrus and avocado and a little sea salt, and that's it. It's so easy, and once you start to really enjoy your greens that way, you will start to crave them. On top of this salad, I'm adding a macadamia parmesan that I just had in the fridge from another recipe. This is just a very easy little thing you can make in the Vitamix or in a food processor, blending up macadamia nuts with salt and garlic powder, and it's a great topping on a salad. The reason I prefer the grilled sandwiches over the quesadilla is because I avoid gluten, and the quesadilla recipe really doesn't work as well with corn tortillas, so I just choose a gluten-free bread. And these are 2 gluten-free breads I've been liking lately. Just within the last few years, I feel like the gluten-free bread industry has really stepped up their game. Don't just settle for like the old brands. Try some new ones. There's some really good ones out there. Just make sure they don't have eggs, because a lot of gluten-free bread does include eggs. Just spread the hummus on there, and I love to put a thick slice of tomato and some mustard on top, and then just grill it in a nonstick pan. There's no oil or vegan butter required at all. As you can see, it gets nice and crispy and melty, and this is such a good lunch. Oh my gosh, it's so satisfying and easy. You could put so many other toppings on there. You could put lettuce with it or avocado. For Eric's lunch, I'm just gonna spread the hummus on a flour tortilla. I just get like an organic flour tortilla. For some reason, those just grill up so nice in quesadillas. The corn tortillas don't work so well. Eric likes hot sauce on the inside, and just flip them over till they're nice and brown. Put some guac and cilantro on top, maybe some more hot sauce if you're crazy like him. And that is the lunch. It's one of our go-tos. We like to make that while camping too, because it's just a really easy lunch. Our next lunch is gonna be a salad, but this is sort of like an Asian take with an almond butter dressing. You're just gonna blend up your almond butter with some ginger, garlic, your date. Make sure you pit the date, because dates do come with pits, and coconut aminos and rice vinegar and celery. And you can sub coconut aminos for soy sauce as well, but I prefer to keep it lower sodium, and it's just a healthier alternative, honestly. The reason I add the celery to the dressing is not just for the flavor and nutrients, but also to keep it lower in fat. Otherwise, it would just be so much almond butter. Almond butter is delicious, don't get me wrong, especially this brand from Thrive Market, so good and creamy. But, you know, eating so many nuts in one meal does not make me feel good. It makes me feel pretty lethargic. So adding more celery gives you the opportunity to increase the volume, but keep it lower in fat. And then I'm just going to use a bed of greens and then add lots of purple cabbage. The thinner you slice it, the better. And some vegetables, cilantro, and I really love edamame. And I'm going to just drizzle on the dressing with a little slow-mo action for you. I also put some ground flax seeds on top for those essential fats, as well as some sesame seeds, because what's an Asian meal without sesame seeds? This next recipe is one we've been making a lot lately. It's simply a tofu scramble put into a tortilla to make it a breakfast burrito. I love using jalapeno and bell pepper, lots of garlic and onion, and while those are sauteing in just a little bit of water, no oil necessary, I'm going to grill up some vegan sausages. The field roast sausages are really, really tasty. Now, personally, I don't eat processed meats on a regular basis, so I will be avoiding these, but I'll put them in Eric's burrito. This is just another example of how I modify our lunches so that he's super satisfied and he's enjoying it, and I'm super satisfied, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also keeping it like super healthy, you know, and like avoiding the processed foods that I prefer to avoid. Then you're just gonna take your extra firm tofu, drain out the water, and take another bowl to mash it up and get the right consistency, and throw it in there with your veggies. Next, you're gonna add your nutritional yeast and spices. The turmeric that you're adding here is really just for color, not for flavor. You also have the option of using a sulfur salt, which is a really cool, fun little thing to take your tofu scramble to the next level. It gives it an extra eggy flavor if you'd like. For Eric's meal, I just have 2 flour tortillas. I put a little arugula on the bottom just because that's his favorite green, and it's just another way to get some greens in. Put some tofu scramble on top, as well as some sausages. I had some roasted potatoes in the fridge, so I just heated those up real quick to add those, and avocado. Look how awesome that looks. Some hot sauce, and he's ready to go. For my meal, I'm getting a little kooky here, and I'm actually not going to use tortillas at all. I'm going to use romaine leaves just because, it's always a good option to get more greens in, and I thought I'd try this out, and it was so good. I put hummus on the bottom, which I know sounds a little strange, but it was excellent. I put tofu scramble in the middle there, and I put some potatoes and avocado, and I just ate it like that, and it was delicious. For our next meal, we are going to chop a ton of onions and garlic, as well as ginger, and get those sauteing in a little bit of water. Add some spices on top, and we're making chickpea masala. Now, listen, guys, this isn't like a traditional sort of masala. I sort of just added a bunch of stuff and it came out masala-like, so just keep that in mind. And for sweetener here, I'm gonna mash some dates with a fork. Listen, friends, I had a little bit of a fail here. I was out of chickpeas, so I made this with like half the amount of chickpeas that I should have. So in the recipe in the description box, it's totally accurate, but just keep in mind, it's gonna look a little different than in the video. And I should have added 4 cans of chickpeas, which is about 8 cups of chickpeas, but I only had half of that. But everything else is accurate, so just keep that in mind. You're gonna have a lot more chickpea to tomatoes ratio. I love to add cilantro in there, stir that up, and I'm serving mine with baked kabocha squash, which is one of my favorite squashes. It's so delicious and easy to make. but it's also very, very good on rice. For our last recipe, we are making spring rolls, but with roasted Brussels sprouts on the inside, as well as the other veggies. Yum, yum, yum. The thing about spring rolls is it's actually quite easy to make and very fulfilling and satisfying, but there's a lot of prep involved just in terms of chopping. So, turn on your music, start chopping, and maybe have some veggies chopped and ready to go in the fridge so you can make it for an easy lunch. To assemble the spring rolls, just dip the rice paper in warm water and set it on a board, and you want to let the rice paper sit for just maybe 30 seconds to let it get sticky, and put everything in the middle, in the very center of the round rice paper. Don't forget those delicious herbs. I love cilantro, mint, and basil. It really takes the taste and the flavor to the next level. Then you'll just wrap it up from the bottom, wrap 2 sides in, and continue to roll, and it's all set. It's actually really easy. I know it's a little intimidating to make something like spring rolls if you're not familiar with it, but just try it out. It's really fun, and it's a lot easier than you think. Now, the key is the dipping sauce. Oh, so good. This is a peanut butter dipping sauce that you can just stir by hand, which I did, or you can make in a food processor or a blender to make it actually a little bit easier than it was for me. And you're just gonna add as much water as you need to in order to get the right consistency and make it nice and thin, but also creamy. And then I'm using coconut aminos here instead of soy sauce, but you can use soy sauce as well. And raw crushed garlic, yum, and sriracha. And the sriracha obviously is optional, like if you're not into spice. So once you have your spring rolls all assembled, you can just start dipping them and eating them. And this actually makes a really fun like dinner party dinner if you are interested in that, because everyone can kind of assemble their own and pick their own flavors, and you can talk while you assemble them. It's really fun. Oh my gosh, you guys, big things are happening in the McNeely house because I just finished my own website. I'm so excited. It's Sunday morning. I just kind of like woke up and made something to drink and ate like a couple oranges, and I just finished my website. I'm hungry and I'm excited and I'm like on a freaking high because I have a place on the internet that is mine, all mine. And actually guys, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. It's just it's a coincidence that I finished this website and I'm finishing this video today. Squarespace, thank you so much for sponsoring this video, and thank you for having such an easy platform for someone like me who is not tech savvy to create a beautiful website. They have award-winning templates, 24/7 customer support, and it's super easy. You guys know I'm not tech savvy. You guys know it took me like 2 years to figure out how to get my camera in focus for my YouTube channel, but I made my own website literally all by myself. I didn't have any help at all. What I really like about Squarespace is that it's all in one. There's no like patching or upgrading you have to do. If you have an idea, a business, or some sort of creative project, you probably need a website. And Squarespace is honestly such a great platform. Go to squarespace.com/Hannah McNeely to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Even someone like me, whose camera has been crooked during this entire ad, can make a website, so can you.